Hi everyone, welcome to our Gavel Club today. Today we have our public speaker, Miss Veronica Lurvey, and later we're going to go into breakout rooms to edit our speeches. So before we begin, I just want to introduce all of our board members. I'll go first. Hi, my name is Rosanna. I am a sophomore attending Great Neck South High School, and I am the president of the Nassau County Gavel Club.
Hi, I'm Eileen Shum, and I'm a freshman attending Manhasset High School, and I'm a tutor for the Gavel Club of Nassau County.
Hello, my name is Matthew Laren. I am a sophomore at Great Neck South High School, and I am a tutor for the Gavel Club.
I'm Iris Liu. I'm a freshman at Manhasset High School, and I am also the vice president of education in the Gavel Club.
I'm Abisa, and I'm a sophomore attending Great Neck South High School, and I'm the Vice President of Public Relations for the Nassau County Gavel Club.
Hi, I'm Nicolette. I am a freshman at Manhasset Secondary School, and I am a tutor for the Nassau County Gavel Club.
Hi, my name is Jing Zhang, and right now I'm attending Great Neck South High School as a freshman, and I'm the tutor of the Nassau County Gavel Club.
Hi, my name is Kevin O, and I'm a freshman at Great Neck South High School. I am a tutor for Gavel Club.
So those are our board members, and I think we should begin with our special guest, Ms. Veronica Lurvey. So do you want to introduce yourself and talk about your experiences with public speaking?
I would love to. So my name is Veronica Lurvey. I'm the councilwoman for the town of North Hempstead, and I live in Great Neck. My district includes the two different school districts that I've heard announced today, which is Great Neck and Manhasset, and also Roslyn. And I am the mother of a Great Neck South sophomore, Samuel. So I don't know if any of you know Samuel Lurvey. That's my son on the fencing team. And my story is really one, I can tell it as one of overcoming my fear of public speaking. I am the daughter of immigrants from Eastern Europe, so I spoke a different language when I grew up. And maybe it's because of that, or maybe it's because of some other reason. When I was a young girl, I developed a stutter, which is something that will keep you from speaking. Even if you have a lot to say, and we all have a lot to say, and all that we have to say is valid. So things that keep you from speaking are not good. But as I grew older, I overcame it, but as a consequence, I avoided public speaking wherever I could. The less I spoke, the less I was comfortable speaking. So it was like a vicious circle. I wouldn't speak, and then I'd be scared of speaking, and then I'd be more scared of speaking. So I grew older, and I went to college and in Chicago. I studied political science. I went to law school, where public speaking and attending moot court classes and mock trial classes is really important. I somehow made it through that by a lot of sweat and suffering. And I started my career at a law firm. I started doing corporate law in New York City. That's when I learned that when I'm prepared, I can speak about anything. I learned that when I enter into a room, if I've done my homework and I know what I'm talking about, that's all it takes for me to feel comfortable. After I was at the law firm for about 13 years, I became an activist at a group called North Shore Action. And that's where I really developed my passion for speaking to large groups of people. I organized, as part of that group, the March for Our Lives rally here in downtown Great Neck, and it was awesome. I was up there behind the podium, the crowd was supportive, the politicians behind me were supportive, and it felt really good for the first time ever. So when I think about public speaking now, I think about it as a chance to tell my story. And so long that I know what my story is and what the message is that I want to convey, it gives me confidence to be able to just go out and explain it however it comes out of my mouth. I became councilwoman about 1.5 years ago, and I was elected last November. I was appointed first, and then I was elected. And as councilwoman, I end up going to a lot of events and being asked to speak on the spot. And that is a whole different experience from being behind a podium. I see some of you smiling and nodding, like, yeah, that resonates with me. It's a whole other experience from being prepared and being behind a podium. But even that, with practice, and with an understanding of who your audience is and what the message that you're trying to convey, it can be done. And I'm getting more comfortable with it all the time. I find that I'm starting to enjoy it, which is great. The only issue now is with Zoom. It threw me off a little bit because I don't know where to look. And I don't know if you guys have the same, maybe you'll give me, because you spend so much time on Zoom, you'll give me some advice. Like, I feel like I'm looking into your eyes, but I'm not really, and I might be looking off the screen. Right, Andy? So that's my story. And that's, you know, happy to answer any questions or talk about anything that you guys want to talk about, or up to you, really. This is your meeting. I'll let you guys set the pace and the tone.
All right, thank you. So I'm gonna well, I don't think I'm gonna unmute everyone because in the background the noise gets a little crazy. But if you have any questions, you could use the raise hand feature on Zoom. And yeah, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to use the raise hand question feature on Zoom. See that Abisa and Bella raised their hands, so I'm gonna unmute them.
Why did you stop being a lawyer?
Oh, why did I stop being a lawyer? That's a really good question. I was a lawyer for 13 years, which is a long time, at a large law firm in New York City. I did really fun corporate financing work. I worked on projects like airports and wind farms and power plants, and I really loved it. But the work that you have to do at those law firms requires you to be available all the time. And I had two little boys to raise. So I wanted to spend some more time at home with them. The law firm was really good to me. They tried to make it work on some sort of part-time basis. But in the end, I decided that it was better for me to stay at home and raise my boys. So I had to say goodbye to the practice of law, at least for the time being.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Eileen has a question. Okay, I'm gonna unmute. Oh wait, Eileen, I think you're unmuted already.
Yes, okay. When did you realize you wanted to become a councilwoman?
I realized that I wanted to become a councilwoman when the councilwoman before me was elected to a higher office. She was elected to state senate, and they were looking for somebody to take her spot. Somebody that wasn't afraid of running a campaign, somebody that wasn't afraid of politics, and somebody that was really concerned about local issues. And I thought about myself and I thought, well, that's all three things. I can check off all three things. I'm already interested in local issues because I started North Shore Action, and we were doing March for Our Lives and mental health issues and pedestrian safety. And so I knew about the local issues, and I thought it would be a fun challenge. And so I said, tell me some more about it. And before I knew it, I was interviewing, and before I knew it, I was appointed. So it came at exactly the right time because I was really ready for a challenge, and I was ready to take on those local issues from the government side as opposed to the activist side. I wanted to do it from the inside, make big change.
Thank you.
Okay, Nicolette, you could go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, did you find that the public speaking, like skills that were required from when you were participating in law and more like court cases, was very like different from when you started engaging in more like political activism?
Yes, the public speaking in law, and whether or not you're in court or whether you're dealing with a client has to be much more precise. In politics, you can say a lot without being precise at all. And sometimes you prefer not to be precise in politics. So it's a very different type of communication. I'm still getting the hang of politics, a handle on it. I like to be very sort of detail oriented, but I think I'll get there. But it is very different. Yeah, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
Iris, do you have a question?
Yes, so for our members, there's actually an impromptu speech contest next Tuesday. It's sort of speaking on the spot in a contest. You said that you had a little bit experience with it, so maybe you can give them some tips.
Well, I can only give you some tips about what works for me. It's good to figure out first, what is the overarching theme of the gathering? For me, it would be something like, are we at a Memorial Day celebration? And are we gathered, like what is Memorial Day? Like figure out, we're gathered to honor those who have died and given the ultimate sacrifice for the country. So already there, you can talk about that. So you think of the larger theme, and you can already talk about that theme. And it's even better if you can draw on something personal. You can say something, that affected your family, something that affected yourself, relating to that larger theme. So for example, if I was at a Memorial Day event, I could talk about if I had somebody in the family who had fought in the armed forces, obviously, but it doesn't have to be so obvious. It could be, I could talk about the fact that my parents live in Eastern Europe, which became a democratic country because America has been so involved in the world wars and bringing democracy to the other parts of the world. So it's not super easy, but figure out the larger theme and then see if you can also bring in some personal anecdotes, because the personal anecdotes are the ones that are easiest to talk about, right? You don't have to prepare anything about it. Those are the ones you've either lived through or you've heard your family talk about. That's how I get through my events. I want to know a little bit more. What kind of prompts are they going to give you at this extemporaneous speaking event?
So in Toastmasters, for the speaking on the spot speeches, they're called table topics. Basically, the chief judge is going to give the contestants, like from the box, we're going to draw a prompt, and we're going to give all the contestants that prompt. And we don't want it to be too hard, so about 45 seconds, a mini speech. The prompt, an example would be something like, what's your favorite hobby? Or what's your dream job? Something simple like that. And then after they're done, we'll grade them and we'll select the winner. Hopefully it'll be pretty fun. We already have 20 contestants signing up.
Right. So if you have only 45 seconds and you're given something to speak about that you already know about, you kind of know what your favorite hobby is, or you know which of the choices you could possibly talk about, right? Then the key is just take a deep breath and don't freeze, right?
Yeah.
Right? Is that like basically you just don't want to freeze, right?
I think that's it for questions, but like Veronica Lurvey said, she said that with like the table topic, if you know what you're talking about, you can say anything. If you have an idea, like a general idea of what you're going to say, I think like you've got it. Just make sure that you're confident and don't freak out. So I think I definitely agree with that.
So on that note, I'm going to wish you guys the best of luck. Will you let me know? Can I watch the competition?
Yeah, of course.
Could you send me the link? I would be very fascinated to watch you guys and cheer you on.
All right, perfect. Thank you so
Okay?
much.
Thank you for having me, and good luck.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.